Imagine a universe where war is a common reality for every species. Battles rage across galaxies, and countless civilizations vie for dominance, constantly in conflict. Yet, amidst this chaotic web of warfare, there is one species that stands out not for their love of war, but for their overwhelming fear of it. That species is humanity. This fear, however, is not a weakness. It's a driving force behind their ingenuity, their adaptability, and their ability to survive when all odds are against them. So, why are humans so afraid of war? At first glance, humans seem like any other species in the galaxy, fragile compared to some of the more physically powerful races, lacking the natural weapons or defense mechanisms found among the warrior species. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find that humans have a unique relationship with war. They are haunted by it, terrified of it. But paradoxically, that fear makes them the most dangerous combatants in the universe. You see, humans understand war like no other species. They've waged wars for millennia, on a scale unmatched by many in the galaxy. Wars that have wiped out entire cities and, in some cases, threatened to erase entire civilizations. They know the price of conflict better than most, and because they understand it so intimately, they fear it. They know that war isn't just about victory or defeat. It's about the loss of lives, homes, and futures. For humans, the scars of war run deep, passed down through generations. But this fear isn't paralysis. It's not cowardice. Instead, it drives humans to innovate, to adapt, to do everything in their power to avoid war or, if necessary, to fight it smarter and harder than anyone else. Humans don't seek out war for glory or conquest. They seek to avoid it because they know its true horror. And when they do fight, it's not because they want to. It's because they have no other choice. Let me tell you the story of the Battle of Nexus Prime. This is where the galaxy truly understood what it meant to fight humans. The Khaite Zari, one of the fiercest warrior species in the galaxy, had always prided themselves on their combat prowess. To them, war was an art, and they were its greatest artists. They viewed the humans as an inferior species, outdated, technologically primitive, and too emotionally volatile to stand a chance in real combat. So, when the Khaite Zari army prepared to launch a final assault on Nexus Prime, they fully expected a quick and decisive victory. On paper, the humans were doomed. They were vastly outnumbered, and their weapons were no match for the advanced Khaite Zari technology. But what the Khaite Zari didn't understand was that the humans had been preparing for this moment their entire history. They didn't fight to win glory, they fought to survive. And when a species fights for survival, they tap into a level of ingenuity and desperation that no other motivation can match. As the Khaite Zari forces descended upon Nexus Prime, something unexpected happened. The humans adapted. Within hours, they had taken the Khaite Zari's own weapons and re-engineered them to suit their needs. They found flaws in the Zari battle formations and exploited them with devastating precision. What had been expected to be a quick and easy victory for the Khaite Zari turned into a bloodbath. The human soldiers weren't just fighting with strength and numbers, they were fighting with strategy, creativity, and a terrifying will to survive. They altered their tactics on the fly, abandoning centuries of warfare tradition and innovation, driven by their fear of what would happen if they failed. They had no sacred rules of engagement, no honor codes to hold them back. They used everything at their disposal, even the very terrain beneath their feet, to their advantage. For Vexnay, one of the Khaite Zari's elite warriors, this was a moment of revelation. She had fought in hundreds of battles before, but never had she seen an enemy adapt so quickly or fight with such terrifying desperation. It wasn't that the humans were stronger than the Zari, far from it. But they were unpredictable, capable of turning the tide of battle with a single, well-timed maneuver. And as the battle wore on, Vexnay realized something that chilled her to her core. Humans feared war because they understood it too well. They didn't crave it like the Zari. They avoided it at all costs. But when war came, they were ready to do whatever it took to win. In the aftermath of the battle, Vexnay reflected on what had happened. Her people, the Khaite Zari, had always believed in the glory of combat, in the honor of a fair fight. But humans had no such illusions. They fought dirty, they fought smart, and most importantly, they fought to end the war as quickly as possible. Their fear of war wasn't a weakness, it was their greatest weapon. It drove them to innovate faster, to think smarter, and to do whatever was necessary to ensure their survival. After the Battle of Nexus Prime, the Khaite Zari realized that they had been wrong about humans all along. They had viewed them as a lesser species, not worthy of respect on the battlefield. But now they saw the truth. Humans were not afraid of war because they were weak. They were afraid of war because they understood its true cost. And that fear made them the most dangerous warriors in the galaxy. In the years that followed, Vexnay and her people began to change their tactics. They learned from the humans, adopting their unpredictable strategies and technological innovations. They began to see that the key to winning any war wasn't brute strength or superior numbers, it was adaptability, and no one adapted better than humans. But the humans didn't stop there. They continued to push the boundaries of warfare, enhancing themselves with technology, augmenting their soldiers with cybernetic implants, and developing weapons that could turn the tide of any battle. They understood that in order to survive in a universe where war was inevitable, they needed to be constantly evolving. They feared stagnation as much as they feared war itself, and so they never stopped innovating. In the end, what makes humans so terrifying in war is not their strength or their numbers, it's their fear. Their fear of what war can do to them, their fear of what they might become if they don't adapt, and that fear drives them to become better, faster, and more dangerous than any other species in the galaxy. Humans are afraid of war, but in that fear lies their greatest strength, because when they fight, they do so with the knowledge that war is not a game. It's a matter of life and death, and for humans, there is no greater motivation than survival. The relationship between humanity and war is a complex one. For most alien species, war is either a necessity or a point of pride, a demonstration of power, strength, and superiority. But for humans, war is viewed as a failure of diplomacy, communication, and understanding. War is not glorified, it's feared. This fear doesn't come from cowardice, but from a deep understanding of the consequences that come with conflict. And it's this fear that drives humanity to become some of the most innovative, resilient, and resourceful beings in the galaxy. Let's delve into why humans are considered so dangerous, even though they are at heart a species that fears war. One crucial aspect that sets humans apart from other galactic species is their remarkable ability to learn from their mistakes. Many alien civilizations, when they engage in war, rely on centuries-old traditions, rigid combat protocols, and a set of unbreakable rules. But humans, they have no such boundaries. Their wars have always been fluid, evolving with each conflict. From the ancient battles fought with swords and shields to the modern warfare of guns and drones, humanity's combat tactics are shaped by necessity and survival rather than tradition. In many ways, humans treat war as a living, breathing entity, one that can change its form at any moment. They fear it not only because of the devastation it brings, but because they know that war is unpredictable. And in order to survive, they must constantly adapt to it. This adaptability is something that few other species possess. Take, for example, the battle between the humans and the Xanthari Collective, one of the most technologically advanced empires in the galaxy. The Xanthari were known for their precision strikes, their ability to disable enemy fleets with minimal casualties. They operated on a strict code of honor, never engaging in guerrilla tactics or ambushes, as these were considered dishonorable. When the Xanthari declared war on Earth, they believed it would be a simple, straightforward victory. After all, the humans lacked the advanced weaponry that the Xanthari possessed. But the Xanthari underestimated one critical aspect of humanity: their fear of war. This fear drove humans to abandon conventional combat strategies and embrace tactics that the Xanthari had never seen before. Humans didn't fight fair, but they fought to survive. They used every tool at their disposal, every scrap of technology, every advantage they could find. In the span of a few short months, the Xanthari found themselves in a war unlike any they had fought before. Their fleets were ambushed in asteroid fields, their supply lines cut off by human commandos, and their communication networks jammed by human hackers. It wasn't that the humans were stronger than the Tenthari. It was that they were unpredictable, and their ability to adapt in real time to changing battlefield conditions made them nearly impossible to defeat. But there's more to it than just adaptability. Humans are also masters of psychological warfare. They know that the greatest victories are not always won on the battlefield, but in the mind of the enemy. They study their opponents, learn their weaknesses, and exploit them in ways that are often devastatingly effective. And while other species see honor and valor as the ultimate goal in war, humans see victory, no matter how it's achieved, as the only acceptable outcome. In the story of Vexnay, a seasoned warrior of the Khaite Zari, we see this psychological warfare in action. Vexnay had fought countless battles against some of the most feared enemies in the galaxy, but she had never encountered a species quite like humans. During the Battle of Nexus Prime, she watched as the human forces, though outnumbered and outgunned, quickly adapted to the changing battlefield. But what struck her most was how the humans played mind games with their enemies. They didn't just fight with weapons, they fought with fear. They knew that their enemies expected them to crumble under pressure, and they used that expectation to their advantage. They lured the Khaite Zari into traps, making them believe they had the upper hand, only to strike when they least expected it. The humans played on the Khaite Zari's overconfidence, turning it into a weakness, and in doing so, they managed to break the spirit of an army that had never known defeat. What Vexnay learned that day was a lesson that would forever change the Khaite Zari's approach to war. Humans were not to be underestimated. Their fear of war made them the most dangerous kind of warriors, not because they enjoyed fighting, but because they would do anything to avoid losing. Humans also have another advantage that many species in the galaxy lack. They're a species of creators. In times of peace, they build civilizations, create art, and push the boundaries of technology. But when war comes, that same creative spirit is channeled into creating weapons, strategies, and technologies that can outmatch even the most advanced empires. It's this duality, the ability to create and destroy, that makes humans such a formidable force. For the Khaite Zari and many other species, war is an art, a ritual. It's something to be respected, and certain rules must be followed. But for humans, war is chaos. It's something to be avoided at all costs, but if it's unavoidable, they will bring every ounce of chaos they can muster. They will create new technologies, new strategies, and new ways of fighting that no one else could have predicted. And this brings us to perhaps the most terrifying aspect of human warfare, their willingness to sacrifice. Humans fear war because they know it will cost them lives of friends, family, and comrades. But that same fear drives them to make the hardest choices. They will send soldiers into battles they know they can't win, all to buy a few more minutes to come up with a new strategy. They will sacrifice entire fleets to protect a single planet, knowing that the loss will only strengthen their resolve. In many ways, this willingness to sacrifice is what sets humans apart from other species. For most galactic empires, the loss of soldiers or ships is a devastating blow, something to be avoided at all costs. But humans see it differently. They understand that war has a price, and they are willing to pay it if it means protecting their homes, their families, and their future. In the end, what makes humans so dangerous is not their love of war, it's their fear of it. They fear it because they know it too well. They've seen what it can do to civilizations, to entire worlds. And because they fear it, they will do everything in their power to avoid it. But when war comes, they're ready to fight harder, smarter, and more ruthlessly than anyone else. As we dive deeper into the human psyche, another aspect that sets them apart in their approach to warfare is their ability to unite under a common cause. Despite their internal conflicts and differences, when faced with an external threat, humans have an unparalleled ability to set aside their differences and band together. In the context of galactic warfare, this unity is often the deciding factor in many battles that seemed unwinnable. Humans fear war, not just for the destruction it brings, but because they understand the implications of failing to unite in the face of a common enemy. This unity is driven by a deep-seated instinct for survival, one that transcends individual interests and focuses on the greater good of the species. It's something that many alien species, often fractured by internal politics and rigid hierarchies, struggle to comprehend. For example, during the Human-Zolan War, the Zolans, a highly advanced species known for their superior technology, were baffled by humanity's ability to pool resources, share intelligence, and mobilize entire populations for war. While the Zolans relied on their technological advantage and superior firepower, humans leveraged their social structures, creating networks of collaboration that spanned across entire continents and even planets. Factories on Earth worked tirelessly to produce weapons and supplies, while human scientists and engineers collaborated across borders to develop new technologies that could counter the Zolans' advanced weaponry. One of the most notable moments during the Human-Zolan War was the development of the Iron Horizon, a massive orbital defense grid that protected Earth from Zolan attacks. This feat was not the work of a single nation or government, but a collaborative effort involving multiple countries, private corporations, and even civilians. It was a testament to humanity's ability to come together in times of crisis, pooling their collective talents and resources to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. This unity, however, is not born out of a desire for conquest or power. It stems from a deep-rooted fear of losing everything they've built. Humans understand that war threatens not just their lives, but their entire way of life, their families, their homes, and their future. This fear drives them to fight with a level of determination and resilience that few other species can match. And it's not just their ability to unite that makes humans formidable. It's their relentless pursuit of innovation. Throughout human history, periods of intense conflict have often led to groundbreaking advancements in technology, medicine, and engineering. In many cases, war has been the catalyst for some of humanity's greatest achievements. But these advancements come with a heavy cost, one that humans are acutely aware of. Take the development of the Hyperion drive, a faster-than-light propulsion system that revolutionized space travel. Initially developed as a military project during the Martian Rebellion, the Hyperion drive was designed to give Earth's military forces a strategic advantage in space warfare. However, once the war ended, the technology was repurposed for civilian use, enabling humanity to explore and colonize distant planets. The irony is that a technology born out of war ended up expanding humanity's reach across the stars, opening new frontiers for exploration and discovery. This duality, war as both a destroyer and creator, is a constant theme in human history. Humans fear war because they know it has the power to annihilate entire civilizations. But they also understand that in the ashes of destruction, there is the potential for rebirth and growth. This understanding shapes their approach to warfare, making them both cautious and relentless. In the story of Vex Nay, we see this duality play out on the battlefield. As the Khaite Zari warrior watches the humans fight, she realizes that they are not just fighting to win, they are fighting to survive. Their fear of war drives them to push the boundaries of what's possible, to innovate in ways that other species cannot fathom. They build weapons that can turn the tide of battle in an instant, but they also build technologies that can heal and rebuild in the aftermath of conflict. Vex Nay reflects on the humans' ability to enhance themselves with technology, a practice that the Khaite Zari had long considered taboo. But as she watches human soldiers on the battlefield, equipped with cybernetic enhancements and exoskeletons that give them superhuman strength and agility, she begins to question her own people's rigid traditions. The humans have embraced technology not just as a tool for war, but as a means of survival. Their adaptability and willingness to evolve in the face of adversity make them formidable adversaries, but it also gives them the potential to become allies in the future. As the battle unfolds, Vex Nay is forced to confront the reality that the Khaite Zari cannot defeat the humans through sheer force alone. If her people are to survive, they must learn from the humans, adapt, evolve, and embrace the same technological advancements that have made humanity so dangerous. It's a sobering realization, one that forces Vex Nay to reconsider everything she thought she knew about war and what it means to be a warrior. But while humans may be feared on the battlefield, Their fear of war also drives them to seek peace whenever possible. They understand that the cost of war is often too great, not just in terms of lives lost, but in the long-term consequences for entire civilizations. This is why, despite their formidable military capabilities, humans are often the first to seek diplomatic solutions to conflicts. In many intergalactic disputes, humans have acted as mediators, using their understanding of war and its consequences to broker peace between warring factions. Their fear of war gives them a unique perspective, one that allows them to see the bigger picture and find solutions that benefit all parties involved. And while some species may see this as a weakness, it's this very quality that has earned humans a reputation as both warriors and peacemakers. In the end, humans are feared not because they seek out war, but because they understand it better than anyone else. Their fear of war drives them to fight with everything they have, to innovate and adapt, and to unite in ways that other species cannot. But it also drives them to seek peace, to find ways to avoid conflict whenever possible. And in a universe filled with species that thrive on war, this balance between warrior and peacemaker is what makes humans truly unique. And there you have it, the paradox of humanity's fear of war. It's not just the destruction that we fear, but the loss of what makes us human. But maybe, just maybe, it's that very fear that drives us to be the warriors, the survivors, and the peacemakers the galaxy needs. What do you think? Does this fear make humans weak or stronger than any alien species could ever imagine? With that said, thanks for watching SciFi Humanity. Until next time.